Why did you tell me you only knew John Barron by sight?
I'm very busy, Inspector.
Barron was your patient, wasn't he? Is that how it started?
What started?
Your affair.
I think you're confusing me with my mother.
A terrible shock finding her in bed with your lover.
Yes. I imagine I'd have killed her. If Barron had been my lover. If I hadn't been at home with a sprained ankle.
Which one?
The left.
You drive an automatic. There are taxis.
John Barron stopped being a patient here 2 years and 3 months ago. I've been here 18 months. He'd have seen the late Dr. Chowdhury or Dr. Whale. And he'd have met Sir Lionel, of course. Now, unless there's anything else.
Changing offices.
Changing hospitals and countries. I've accepted a rather attractive post in Vancouver.
When do you go?
Soon.
Please don't leave the country without telling me, Doctor.
If you insist.
Your mother was very good to me while I was in here.
My mother was a perverted whore. Thankfully, in Canada, I will no longer come into contact with a man who delights in reminding me of that fact and insinuates he'd like to do to me what he used to do to her.
This is difficult for me, nurse. But I'm going to show you something. And what you do with it is up to you.
So?
I've always tried to play it by the book, you know, ever since I joined the force. Now I'm going soon, and I want to sleep soundly without worrying about something I should never have done. I'm afraid I acted improperly for the benefit of a fellow officer. It was only to save him embarrassment. Well, this was found in Yvonne Harrison's bedroom on the night of the murder. You'll know the handwriting.
Apparently, Philippa has to do some twiddling with her diapasons. So we'll take the break here and go into I.M.T.R.D after. Sir Lionel, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Hidden talents.
I know.
Do as I say.
Quite.
Yvonne Harrison, Sir Lionel.
You're wearing your policeman's helmet then,
Yes, much as I enjoy Fauré's Requiem. You sing the Libera Me with considerable feeling, if I may say so.
You may.
Libera me, Domine. Set me free, Lord. Oh, Master. Let me go, Master. Is that what you like to hear her say?
Dr. Harrison's obviously been spilling the beans. You're not shocked, surely? Her mother and I shared a mutual and loving interest in the erotic dynamic of power and submission.
Kinky, rumpy-pumpy is what my sergeant would call it.
Snappy, huh? You're looking a bit peaky, you know.
Late night.
Am I really a suspect? Why on earth would I kill the source of a great deal of pleasure?
Perhaps she'd had enough of you.
Enough? Yvonne didn't know the meaning of the word, as you must be aware. We didn't just play our games, we did chat at half-time. And she told me all sorts of things. Her men, her husband's women. Not that she was in a position to mind about that. Except for the child. I rather think she did mind about him.
What child?
Frank's by some woman in Swinstead. He must be 16 or so now. Yvonne didn't like Frank keeping in touch, giving him money.
Do you know his name?
No. Ray. Oh, Roy. Yes, Roy. By the way, I was in Oslo for a 3-day conference when the murder happened. And yes, she did tell me about you. But don't worry. No details.
I would rather be ill and nursed by you than to be in full health and never see you again. You were right when you said you detected a deep longing in me. I have waited for you to get in touch as you promised. But there's been no phone call, no letter, nothing. If it was just something you said to keep your patient happy, then so be it. All I can say is that for me...
Yes, Lewis. Roy Holmes. Bring him in. Conspiracy to pervert the course of justice to start with. I'll call you later.
They're very good here, you know. They did wonders for my brother when he had his heart attack.
Oh, yes, sir. Top doctors, all the right facilities.
Morse's heart, though. As if he hadn't been through enough already. Oh, why didn't he retire when he had the chance?
Scared, I reckon,
Scared?
of what his life was going to be. Yeah. You better have this back. Why didn't he tell me, sir? It's as if...
He's always been an independent sod, Lewis. If he had told you about it, he would have felt that he was letting himself down in your eyes. And he didn't want that, Lewis. He didn't want that.
I'm only allowed a couple of minutes, sir. Here, your pillow's a bit skew with. Do you want me to...
Lewis, don't fuss.
Sir, why didn't you tell me about your...
No, Lewis. What about Roy Holmes?
Well, his father kept him in pocket money if he tipped him off about Baron's whereabouts. So when Baron mentioned that he'd be up a ladder in Burford, Roy phoned his dad. And once we'd arrested Simon, Roy was sent by his father with a story about the bike to get Simon off the hook. We're picking up Frank and Simon Harrison now.
And Sandra?
Dr. Harrison, sir.
Yes, Lewis. Her alibi. The murder weapon.
Harrison 2Rs1S. Vancouver, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lewis, Thames Valley, I'm on my way. Yeah, she's checked in. They're going to stop her at the gate.
Well, get your skates on then, matey. I'll stay with him. Frank Harrison.
Dad, I never said sorry. But I am.
So am I. Sandra. Goodbye. Well, I didn't quite catch that, Morse.
Thank Lewis for me.
Nurse!
You'll have to shout, sir! casualty issued you with a metal crutch on the day of your mother's murder. They keep very good records at the Radcliffe. Why did you never return it, Doctor?
You know why?
Sergeant Lewis, Thames Valley car on its way.
John was supposed to be coming round to my flat, but he phoned to say he was working late. I could tell he was lying. So I dialed 1471. It was my parents' house. He was a man you had to share if you wanted him at all. And I wanted him, ever since he did some work at the house.
You are still under caution, Doctor.
He must have heard my car coming and panicked. I saw him run out into his van and drive off. And he saw me. When I got upstairs, I mean the others, yes, sharing. But this was my mother. My mother. Like some disgusting, pornographic... Still a trace of a smile of satisfaction. So I...
Smashed her skull in. And then called your father in London to tell him what you'd done. And when he arrived, he broke the window to set the alarm off, and then paid Flynn to tell us that it was still going when the taxi arrived.
It was the best he could think of. Except Flynn stayed watching until he saw me coming out, and now he knew. Then John asked for money to say he'd tried calling her twice that night. More and more money. Dad had to sell the silver.
Dear, dear.
You don't understand.
No.
Morse will.
Inspector Morse is dead!